programs, and welcome to the Countdown Movie Show, Tron. This time we're getting ready for Tron Ares. Very excited. So we've just got 2 movies to cover. Although I think maybe we should chat a little bit about the animated series. I haven't watched it. Has anybody here watched the Tron animated series?
I didn't know it was a thing.
I thought about watching it, and then I went, those guys aren't going to watch it. No one's going to bring that up. I don't need to watch that.
Well, look, I mean, we never covered the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and we never covered Super Friends.
That's true.
There's so much content.
True. So there is a lot of content.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that series plays into any of this, especially Tron Ares, because I do think there's some interesting stuff happening with that. Super excited to talk about Tron because I love this movie. It's an important movie from my childhood for lots and lots of reasons. By the way, I'm Sean Blodgett of Creative Motion Entertainment. You are
Paul Preston of the Movie Guys,
and I am Justin Bowler of The World.
Now, before we go too far, one thing I want to touch on, we never do any pitching of stuff that's happening on this show, and I think it's important that we support each other and talk about awesome stuff that's happening. So I'm going to turn it over to Paul, and he's going to tell you all about the fantastic tours that he does in Hollywood.
True, the Movie Guys LA Film Location Tours, or just LAFilmLocationTours.com. You can take a tour of... It's funny you should bring this up because I take people to Flynn's Arcade all the time on this tour.
That's incredible. Yeah. Are you serious? I had no idea.
It's in Culver City.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So people come from out of town usually, although I've given plenty of tours to locals who don't know. You know, I'm sure you guys have driven around LA and you drive by a place 100 times and one day someone tells you, oh, that's so-and-so's house from,
right.
Boy Meets World or whatever. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So, you get to pick where you go on the tour, which is 3 things. Let me go back. 3 things I think that make the tour interesting and unique. Private, customized, and we get out of the car. It's not what I call a bus and point tour where you drive around and just look at stuff. You want to get out and do the crane technique in front of Daniel LaRusso's apartment complex? We'll do it.
Shut up. Are you serious? Have people done that?
Oh, of course.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Props and pumpkins for Halloween stuff and T-shirt, whatever they want to do.
Oh my God, I love it.
But some people just hang, and it's your, whatever you want to do is the deal.
I'm going to interrupt real quick because I'm dying to ask this question. Okay, there was an article recently about the woman who owns the house from Breaking Bad.
Yes.
There's
been video.
Yes. There's video of her being so angry, but right now she's trying to sell her house in Albuquerque for like $4 million.
Right. Them's LA numbers.
Albuquerque.
Just like a regular tract home.
Because
it's like, this is $4 million.
Because she's like, oh, it's such a great money-making
How much did your neighbor sell their house for? $430,000.
No, more like $220,000, and she's asking for it. So she's like, oh, it's such a great money-making opportunity for someone to buy this house. Meanwhile, there's all this video of her online screaming at people to get off her lawn and get away and put that pizza back in your car and this, that, and the other thing. So this all leads up to the question of, do you go anywhere where someone comes out and starts screaming at you?
Okay, so I do talk about this lady all the time because everyone seems to know her. She has gotten quite viral.
Yeah.
She comes out, get out of my house, call the cops.
We're talking about the Albuquerque lady.
Correct.
Okay.
The Walter White house in New Mexico. But the thing is, a lot of these videos have a guy filming her going, I can be on the street. You're not the cops of the sidewalk. And so like everyone's a jerk and everyone needs to go inside and relax.
Yeah.
Because some people just like having fun with these movie locations.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if a
they're
realtor,
antagonizing it.
If a realtor didn't tell her people would be doing this to her when they, when she bought that, then again, she may have lived there and signed up for all this. But either way, this stuff's going to happen.
I would imagine it has to be disclosed. This is where this was the Breaking Bad house.
Yeah, but to her credit, people were throwing pizzas on the roof. So
100%. 100%.
Overall, though, I think I've never met anyone like that here in LA.
Okay.
In fact, some people are very friendly and will bring you up on the front porch to take pictures sometimes.
Wow.
But other than that, we always stay on the sidewalk or street. And if something going on at the house, we just take a pic and drive by. Like there's a reunion or something going on in the front
Someone's
lawn,
having a party.
A lawn sale, whatever, we just keep it moving. But so no, I've never met anyone like that. Everyone has either been not there or cool, or they let their house overgrow with plants or a fence and you can't see it anymore, and that's how they say we'd rather not take part.
Yeah, exactly. That's their passive aggressive way of saying it.
So
which
is fine.
I had to take Andy's house from Pretty in Pink off the tour because you literally can't see it anymore.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
So how do people find out about this? Like, where do we go? What do we do?
LAFilmLocationStour.com or just go to themovieguys.net. Google's been very kind. If you look up LA Film Location Tour, we'll come up.
So LAFilmLocationStour.com. We can go there. We can book a tour. Paul can share his brilliance.
I'll take you to Flynn's Arcade.
And for those of you who don't know Paul, which may be all 4 of our audience, no, I'm joking.
The Flynn's Arcade though thing is funny because even they that's a commercial building, so it's a restaurant there now.
Yeah.
But in the back there's an awning that goes to some upstairs apartments, I believe, and the awning says Flynn's Arcade on it. But there's also a little sign on the door that says not a real arcade. These are private apartments. Please get in. I love when people do that. Like the Halloween house, Michael Myers' Halloween house it's now the home of a finance company, so they don't want you to go up on the porch. But obviously, it's a big deal for South Pasadena. I mean, that whole block of houses were raised, but they said not that one. They put it on a platform, moved it across the street so you can visit it. But they did put a sign in their window, which I thought was really funny. The finance company put up a sign, said something to the effect of, "Let's all remember what Michael Myers' most important trait was: silence."
Love it.
That is brilliant. Well, that's awesome.
Embracing it, but also saying, hey, we are real people and we're trying to get stuff done here.
Well, yeah, that's
now,
right.
But I don't remember Tron Legacy well enough that I'm, first of all, excited to see it again. But secondly, to remember what sort of part Flynn's Arcade played in it, the location from the first movie in Culver City. So I got to watch and
well, this is going to be fun
myself.
for you then.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you.
Or to see if it shows up in the new one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wait,
Yeah,
you didn't watch Tron prior to this?
No,
Tron.
I
He
have.
said he's talking about Tron Legacy.
Oh, okay.
He's talking
All
about
right.
the
Gotcha.
import
Okay.
of the
I was
arcade.
like, I was like,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
we're about to talk about the movie. You didn't watch it? Oh no, I saw it as a kid. I'm good.
No, I've seen Tron in the theaters as a kid, in the New Beverly Cinema recently because they showed it again, and then just 2 days ago for this.
Dynamite.
But Tron Legacy I haven't seen since the theater, and so I can't remember if the Flynn's Arcade is even in it. I don't remember a lot about that movie, but now on the heels of the
That
first
is a
one,
great question. I
excited
don't
to see
remember
it again.
either.
Yeah.
If it's actually in there.
Yeah, or it could be in the new one, maybe not.
Well, bottom line, go check out
LA Film Locations.
Film Locations.
And again, just search LA Film Locations, LA Tour of Movies, whatever. Will come up. Google again has been very good.
I've got something new.
Okay, let's hear it from Justin. Paul, that's awesome though. By the way, I'm excited
that is
about
so
that.
Tell us about the world.
No,
Yeah, I want to know about the world. I'd like to know some good things about the world because goodness gracious.
I'm starting up something new. It's called World Locations. Okay. And I just drive around
You
LA
son of a bitch.
and I personalize a tour for you. I have a friend of mine who does this. I'm going to eat up all his business because I'm nicer than he is. So I just drive around and we take pictures. And yeah, it's cool. Look me up.
Oh my God.
We should stage a fight between our two tours on the street, in front of some famous location.
I'd have to change the title. World Locations is an actual company. They hire locations for movies.
Oh, they're like a
I'm
scout.
actually a
Yeah,
client for them because of my dad's ranch, but that's pretty funny.
Oh my God. Brilliant.
So shout out to World Locations.
Well, I'm just going to pitch real quick. We're finishing up a feature film right now called Imbalance. It stars Sharon Lawrence, and we're super excited about it. We're getting close to
Who's
finishing.
we?
The film was produced, written, and directed and executive produced by this woman named Dale Griffith Stamos, who's become a friend of mine. We made a few short films together, and now we're working on this feature. And it's just been honestly, it has been such an amazing experience, just kind of from start to finish. I'm a consulting producer on it as well as being the editor and post supervisor, and so. I've been with the process since the very beginning, and it's just been really, really positive. And I have to, you guys know you've made projects. How many times do you do projects and you're like,
can't wait till this is done?
This is just so. And
looking forward to looking back on this.
Yeah, and she's just this amazing woman, and it's just been such a pleasure. So we're getting close on that, and so I just wanted to celebrate that.
That's
quick.
great.
Yeah.
That's
I have
awesome.
to say,
So-
I'm glad Sharon Lawrence is something because I was lamenting this the other day. We talked about 24 even here briefly. I always think back to The Shield for this as well. There's so many people who are great on TV who you just don't see enough of.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever watched The Shield, there was a detective on there, I think his name was Dutch, if I remember correctly, who was so good. Tony Almeida, the character from 24,
Right.
played by Carlos Bernard. Where is that dude?
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah.
And so I want these TV people. So I'm glad Sharon Lawrence from the great NYPD Blue is doing something.
Yeah, what's interesting, thank you for bringing that up too, and for saying that, because she is actually, of course, not surprisingly, she's amazing in the film. And, of course, editing it, I've watched the scenes a lot. I've watched all the dailies and all this stuff. You watch everything. And we have, one of the things we have that, there's a lot of great things in it, but we have such a great cast, and she is a powerhouse in this movie, and it's about her. The basic storyline is it's an illicit affair that takes place between a professor and her TA, and it's sort of set at the height of the Me Too movement when it starts affecting colleges and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting story. I mean, it's something that it's a story I haven't seen, and so I'm excited about it. And
Hot topic.
So, yeah, hot topic for sure. So anyway, celebrating that, but. Today we're celebrating Tron, 1982, right? That's
Yes.
the year? Okay, let's just start. I have this like very basic synopsis.
No, you don't. That's not what you do.
No.
I look, because you guys I have said that I'm gonna keep it simple today.
I'm gonna go make a pizza. What would you guys?
No, this is just on IMDb, but it says.
And I mean, I'm going to go make flour.
No, I'm bringing this up because I
then-
have a point to make here. Okay, that'll be chapter 1. Chapter 2, no. A computer hacker is abducted into a digital world and forced to participate in gladiatorial games where his only chance of escape is with the help of a heroic security program.
That's it?
What? That's it. That's the entire. No, that's IMDb.
Those
Okay,
are,
no, that's it. That's it. they did it. They did a good job there.
But I was thinking about it.
You weren't satisfied with that, though.
No, because technically, if you look at the overall storyline, what happens is our bad guy stole his programs, and became the CEO of the company, and Flynn, our hero, trying to seek revenge, is trying to get in to find the information so that he can prove his case to say, hey, this guy shouldn't be CEO. I should be CEO. And so that's how this whole thing starts. And none of that's in there. I'm just saying.
Right. Maybe they didn't want to spoil it. I don't know.
I mean, I suppose that's
we should,
true.
though. I mean, this is a 43-year-old movie.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about with this film. I watched a fantastic documentary on the making of this, and I've always loved this movie, and this documentary got me so excited about this movie that I like.
What was the documentary? Because I'd like to watch it, because some of the research that I know, I didn't watch any extra stuff. I mean, I watched a couple of the deleted scenes, but I'm reading about everything, and we'll get to this. What they went through in order to create the look of this film was insane. So I would love to see actual footage of this was the original footage. This is after the first pass, second pass, third pass, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, up to 17 times.
By the way, and I have a note about it. When they were watching like stuff back, like tests and stuff, they were watching it in 70 millimeter.
Yes.
So they had to make a 70 millimeter print to go, oh, that doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's astounding. The other thing, there's a bunch of things I want to say. First of all, what's his name? Lisberger? Is that his name?
Steven Lisberger.
Steven Lisberger.
Yeah.
Your director.
Okay, Steven Lisberger is a genius, and nobody is talking about this person.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about this? I didn't even know his name before we went down this path of doing this show. I was like, oh, let me watch this documentary, and then I started watching it, and all this stuff is unfolding, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is George Lucas, but for computers. This guy is there was a moment I took a couple of quotes from the documentary, and one of the quotes that hit me hard, and I just heard it, was, there would be no Toy Story without Tron. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You are 100% right. That would not exist. The other one, and this is where I want to talk about the depth of the film, because I think from an artistic point of view, this film is has much more depth than people give it credit for. And also just from like a world point of view. Okay, there's a line in the film that one of the characters says, computers and the programs will start thinking, and the people will stop.
Yeah.
That's already happening.
That is already happening.
No one knows anything. It's all on your phone. What do you need to know?
Yeah.
Nothing. You can look and get the information you need for anything at any time.
And it's getting worse because of AI, because people aren't doing basic tasks.
Yeah.
Right now we're leveraging basic thought tasks.
We have seen the commercials now where someone's walking around the house. Gemini, how do I open the door? Turn the handle and push forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I totally forgot that. I mean, but this is 1982, and this was the line that was written.
Yeah.
Computers and the programs will start thinking and the people will stop. How poignant is that in 1982 that at the start of the utilization of computers in movie making, this person's already writing this line.
Well,
I mean, oh my God.
It feels very poignant to us now because we're living in the middle of it with AI coming at us.
Right.
But I also think that sentiment was expressed even earlier with Isaac Asimov.
That's well
in
stated.
writing.
You're right about that. You're right about that for sure. Yeah.
Are we? Was there anything else you wanted?
No, it's quite prescient. I mean, the MCP taking over the world is something that we're legitimately looking at.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, and that's one of the things that I think will be interesting in Tron Ares is how I'm really hoping they go a little deeper in that movie. I enjoy Tron Legacy, but it's not so deep of a film. I'm hoping that Tron Ares gets a little bit more poignant, a little bit more, has a little bit more depth to it. Yeah. I'm really hoping that. So, anyway, I just wanted to start with that, just because I wanted us to start thinking about, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this film, but how poignant it is for you. And then just on a personal level, of course, as a kid, I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. I loved the visuals. I was super excited about it.
Yeah.
But also, this film got me into computers. This film definitely, I mean, I grew up loving computers, and I remember even just seeing, like, when you see them, like, typing and all that stuff, and, like, I mean, back then it was like, computers were like, maybe you'd buy this, like, big thing, and then maybe you'd, like, hook up a television to that, and then, like, that was the monitor, and, like, you know what I mean? It was just such a different
the Commodore
thing.
VIC-20.
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff, but it was kind of exciting. I mean, I took these programming classes in middle school, and I mean, we were writing code that was just very basic. These were like
literally basic was the name of the program.
It was basic. Yeah, I mean, it was like word games, right? It's like, if you go to this door, are you gonna open it? And you click one, and then, like, if X equals this, then da da da. And it was just, but we were spending all this time writing these fun things, and then I had a little time where I started to do like graphical coding, and how terrible that experience was, where you're like doing, like, writing so much code for, like, dot just to make a straight line. You know what I mean? I mean, it was crazy. So I celebrate this film in so many ways.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about Lisberger at the top, because we're thrown right into this.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this movie in a while, but I know I have seen it. But still, I was watching it and I'm going, wait, what the hell is going on? They expect you to know who shiny suited people are and what the hell they're talking about
right off the bat.
People represent programs.
Yeah,
but you're like, but you don't. They don't set that up before you see it. You see it first, then they go back. It's a very interesting plot choice.
It is.
To show you the computer world.
I thought it was I don't know that it's groundbreaking. I thought it was very unusual, and it felt groundbreaking because we immediately jumped into the game. Now, then we pull out, and he's playing the video game, and it's like, oh, okay, we were inside that world, and then we go back into it. But I was like, we go straight there. There's no build up. It is boom. This is happening.
Then they talk about Flynn. Then they talk about Dillinger. But the Wikipedia page even waits until deep into the second paragraph to say, oh yeah, computer programs are living entities appearing in the likeness of human user programmers who created them. It's like, oh, okay. That's what all that stuff at the beginning meant.
Yeah.
That flew right by real fast with like you're supposed to just know what it is. It was kind of a crazy choice.
Directed and written by Steven Lisberger. He has more writing credits than he has director credits, but he only has 5 director credits.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Cosmic Cartoon, which was a short in 1973. This next thing I had heard of, and I'm like, I remember as a child hearing about this.
What is it?
Animal Olympics.
Oh, yes. They talk about this in the documentary.
It was crazy, which he directed, which was a full-length movie just about animals. And it's like Gilda Radner and Harry Shearer and a bunch of voiceover people that you know and stars you know and love. I remember that as barely as a kid. All of a sudden, this brought back memories of like, I haven't thought of that since I was so young. Then Tron in 82, 87, Hot Pursuit, which
John Cusack.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I think I've seen this film. I think I've seen all the John Cusacks, but I'm watching it and I read the plot synopsis. I went, I don't know that I've seen this.
That's the one that's the least bizarre. You know how those movies were sort of wacky humor.
No, I
except
want
for,
my
of course,
$2 in
Then
this.
by Say Anything, they stopped all that. But
Right. And then Slipstream in 1989, which I have never seen. But I was
Mark
like...
Hamill, Bob Peck was your lead in that.
Are you serious?
From Jurassic Park.
Bob Peck
my God.
from Jurassic Park, Mark Hamill, Bill Paxton, Kitty Aldridge.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Oh my God.
It's Robbie Coltrane. It's got to be such a young Robbie Coltrane.
Wow.
For crying out loud.
Wow.
Ben Kingsley is also in there. I don't know.
Then he was done.
Have you ever seen this movie?
No.
I've never seen this movie.
I remember it being on the shelf at the video store because it had Mark Hamill, so it was a big deal.
In the near future, where Earth has been devastated by man's pollution and giant winds rule the planet, bounty hunter Matt kidnaps a murderer out of the hands of 2 police officers planning to get the bounty himself. I mean, it's... Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, wild.
I mean,
But then he just disappeared, and that was the end of him.
that's so interesting. And so we don't. Do you know what happened to him? Like what? Where is he? I mean, he's still alive. I'm assuming.
There's no death listed, so I assume he's still
going
alive.
then, yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh! I mean, maybe he just left the industry, or I mean, I have no idea. But and even these movies that you've mentioned that past Tron, like they don't sound almost worthy of what that accomplishment was. And actually, that's one thing they talk about in the documentary, that apparently this released around the time of E.T. And of course, E.T. Disney was used to having the warm, feel-good kind of movie that was going to make a bunch of money. And this time they didn't. They had Tron. And the company across the street had E.T., which was the warm, feel-good movie. And that was, of course, killing it in terms of numbers. I just find the whole thing fascinating because they were even like, this movie should have done better. Like it did. We think it did good.
Right.
But it should have done better.
Opened July 9th, 1982, Walt Disney Pictures. Its domestic opening was $4,700,000 for that opening weekend.
Wait, pause. What's the budget? Do we know what the final budget was? Because there was one moment where, so the producer on this, and then we'll jump back to what you're saying.
I got it as 17 million.
Okay.
17, okay. Because the producer on this had never produced a film. He had never produced a feature.
Gotcha.
Which I find fascinating, that you're going to jump into producing on a film that has massive amounts of experimentation and like with a first time director of this level, like
it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
But I also just want to quickly say, and then we'll go back to you. All of the actors said how fun it was to make this film.
Yeah.
And I credit Lisberger with that. He kept the set fun. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Total domestic, it made $33 million. International, it made $525
million?
No.
Dollars?
Dollars. $525
What?
internationally. 1982, we didn't send stuff out everywhere like they do now.
Well, now I'm confused by that. That can't be right.
$522. That is according to Box Office Mojo.
Wait, was it not released in other countries?
I'm sure it wasn't. Disney did not have a lot of faith in this movie. Remember, prior to this,
Yeah, that's true.
Was Black Hole?
Right.
Was prior to this, and they were just like, we're getting killed here.
Well,
Why
Disney
are we
was
spending money on this?
was floundering a little bit at that time, right?
Right.
I mean,
Disney is a
were-
company.
yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, they were
this
floundering
was,
a bit.
This was before Eisner came in and made things better.
Yeah.
And turned it into the Disney that we know and love today. But yeah, opening weekend, it actually placed second with 4.7 million. Anyone want to guess what the number one was for
E.T.
opening weekend of July 9th, 1982?
Yeah, I'd say E.T. as well, because that hung around for like a year.
E.T.
Back in the
Correct.
day, you could do that.
All right. I got through 12 for that, and you have seen all but maybe one of these movies. Try and guess. What were our top 12 that weekend? Not for the year, just for that weekend.
82.
1982.
You want the
weekend.
top 12?
These are all movies
in
you
the
would have
country
seen.
in
You would
July
all. These are all on
1982.
specifically on July 9th because things changed the following weekend.
Okay, I'm going to go.
July 16th, 1 week later, was the re-release of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So Raiders is not in there.
I'm going to go Romancing the Stone.
No.
Damn it.
I think you're 2 years early on.
Oh,
that.
am I?
I'm going to guess Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, number 5.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
By the way, great behind the scenes thing on Poltergeist and the house, how they did all that. There's a great behind the scenes thing on that.
Where's the
Speaking of
Poltergeist
movie
house?
location, Simi Valley. Speaking of that, the owner, because we talk about the owners leaning into having fun, that was for sale. And first of all, I wasn't aware what was out back of that house. It looks like a regular house. The back grounds are beautiful. They showed it on the real estate page. But eventually it was purchased by people who've turned it into a B&B, and you can have a seance there. And you can do all this fun stuff. So those are the people I'm impressed with.
That is
So
the
That's how you
greatest.
do it.
Oh my
That is
gosh!
the greatest.
What are they going to do for Halloween? That's going to be the greatest
I
thing
gotta
ever.
go out there. I gotta
They're
go out
actually
there.
going to hire Craig T. Nelson to stand out in front of it.
Oh
Just
my God.
screaming, yo, move the headstone.
You're like, you
my
walk up,
God.
you're like, is this a poltergeist? Yeah, they move the heads.
That's brilliant. If you watch Light and Magic on Disney Plus, that's where you can see that behind the scenes, by the way, where they did like the model of the house and how they did all that. I mean, just back in the day when you had to build practical model stuff and figure out how to shoot it and make it look. I mean, I don't know.
Poltergeist looks great today. It looks amazing.
Any other? guesses?
Rocky 3 is a guess.
Rocky 3 was right behind Tron that week. For
Oh,
number
good
3.
job, Paul. Good
Yep.
job. Yeah, nice.
Yep. Any other guesses?
I have none.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner is number 8. Look at this. See, I told you it was.
see, this is
if
why
you
I
knew
just
the
sit here
movies
and
that
look
were
pretty.
out that year.
Yes.
Then you know.
Yeah,
then you know all
Yeah,
of these.
that's right. Yeah.
So Raiders would have been the one that hung on a year later, but you're saying it's not there. So
It literally was re-released the following weekend,
Oh wow.
and then it's just Raiders and E.T.
no doubt Chariots of Fire hung on for a year.
Jerry, no,
that's a-
another
mean-
Academy mistake. All right, number 12, Porky's.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Number 11, the only movie on this list I have never seen. Author.
Oh, Al Pacino.
Is that what that is?
It is.
Never seen it. Don't know what it's
I
about.
love that Paul just immediately goes,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, Al Pacino."
Let me make another guess. The Fox and the Hound?
Close.
Ooh.
I just pictured there's got to be a Disney in there.
The Sword and the Sorcerer.
The Sword and the
Or wait, no,
not
that's
the Sword
not
and the
Disney.
Sorcerer. That is not
Sword and
Disney.
the
That is not a
Sorcerer is
Disney.
definitely
That's
not.
Lee Horsley.
The Sword and the Sorcerer
Kicking
is
medieval ass.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Sword and Sorcerer. This is I'm a fan of Sword and Sandal, and I remember that movie.
Okay, how much fun did we have with those films back in the like?
they were
I
the
mean, oh my
greatest.
God! Oh my
Directed
God.
by Albert
Clash of the
Kuhn.
Titans and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Come on!
yeah.
No, the Great Egyptian did a Sword and the Sorcerer Beastmaster double feature recently, and Don Coscarelli showed up. It was great.
I bet that was awesome.
I guess it wasn't recent, but it was fun.
Sword and the Sorcerer. Number 9, The Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, The Thing. Number 8, Blade Runner. Number 7.
Yes. Now that you say it,
Wrath of
1982 jumps right to.
Number 6.
Oh, I thought you said Kong just now. I was like, why is he saying Kong? Yeah, Kong. I got it. Yeah.
No one
Wrath of
screams Kong. in
Yeah,
that.
no one seems screams.
Kong.
What movie
Stupid
did they
monkey.
scream? Dumb monkey. Number 6, Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know. listen.
I recently thought to myself, I need to show my children Annie. I have not seen this in a very, very long time. With the pedigree of people that are in it, I want to go back and watch that.
I think you're okay.
Number 5,
That ain't bad. Hey, Albert Finney, Carol Burnett.
Albert Finney,
come on.
Carol Burnett, Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Come on.
I don't remember loving that film.
Number
when I was a
5, Poltergeist.
I mean, but you know that musical. That's fine.
Number 4, Firefox. Clint
Wow,
Eastwood,
yeah,
baby.
Dude, I loved Firefox.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was all about it. So when I was, have I told you the story about when I was a kid? We used to get bootleg movies. No. Okay. So when I was,
But I think the statute of limitations has run out. So go ahead.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so I can tell this story. Well, we might cut this. We'll see. Anyway, bottom line is, okay, I knew somebody who used to get bootleg movies right? when I was a kid, and you know, these were the days when people would go in and like literally video record. I don't know how we met this person in my neighborhood. I don't know what happened. I think it might have been my mom who said, "Hey, there's somebody that we met that has like that can get you these movies that are in the movie theater." And I was like, "That sounds awesome." And so we literally only had to, at the time we had a Betamax player, and apparently he needed Betamax tapes. I don't know if they were getting harder to find or whatever. So I had to bring him 2 Betamax tapes, and he would give me a VHS of whatever movie I was looking to get. And that was the swap. That was the deal. And he was like up the street and like this crazy thing. Yeah, I got Return of the Jedi. Firefox, I think, was one of them. I mean, and they were varying degrees of good. Some of them were actual transfers, I think, and other ones were, someone clearly with a video camera.
I remember being disappointed at how much badass plane chasing there was in Firefox. There's a lot of spy stuff, and then finally there's a big plane chase.
Yeah,
which is what I.
Well, once he finally steals it.
I mean, when you see him walk in and see that plane, and I just thought that was so cool. I don't know. As a kid, I was all about it.
Yeah.
I can still remember that opening scene. He's like, like running, right? He's like running, and then they come. I think the helicopters come or something, and they're like, trying to recruit him. And I don't know. No, just me.
I don't recall.
All right.
Maybe we'll do that. We'll watch that next.
This movie has a Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 73% and audience at 69. Pretty close for both of them. I think I'd rank it a little higher than that.
Wait, say it again. It's what?
Critics on Rotten Tomatoes give Tron a 73. Or did you think I was talking about Firefox?
Wait, did you get to the number one at the box office?
Number 3, Rocky, which we had already established.
Okay.
Number 2, Tron, which I had already said. And number 1, yes, you
E.T.
both already guessed. E.T.
Oh, E.T.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, so 73 was
We'll cut
critics. What was audience?
Audience 69. I think this is a better movie than that.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair.
I'm going to put this in the mid 80s.
But
I was
you know
very
what?
impressed and I had a lot of fun rewatching this.
I don't trust the numbers on any of these sites for older movies.
films?
Yeah, I don't because it's completely skewed because people are going back and watching them. These numbers are not based on actual experiences of watching them when these movies came out because none of this existed.
I'm going to ask AI right now what Roger Ebert gave this movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, I love that. All right, everybody pause. We're going to find out what Roger Ebert,
No.
Siskel and Ebert.
Jumping into pre-production.
You gave it 2 stars. End of line.
End of line.
End of line.
Development.
By the way, what a great voice for the MCP. I loved that voice.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
That's Dillinger and Sark. That's David Warner.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh
he,
my God.
He had 3. He was
I didn't
triple
even
roles
know.
in this.
And they whatever they did,
modulated
whatever they
it.
did to
Yeah.
modulate it and futz with it or whatever. I just thought the way it sounded because it wasn't just like it wasn't just scary.
it
There
wasn't a silo.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. There was something a little bit more menacing
Yeah.
about it, a little bit more distinct. It had a personality to it. I love that.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
This is according to Steven Lisberger. He found himself addicted to the video game Pong and in 1976 and started developing this script.
Wow.
That's kind of fun.
By the way, speaking of video games, 2 things. The first thing is he had video games on the set.
Yeah, he did.
Which again I think adds to the fun of it. And Jeff Bridges tells a story about how they'd be like, "All right, Jeff, we're gonna come to set." He's like, "Hold on, I'm getting into character." It's like playing a video game.
Yeah.
So
Hang on, man.
But I mean, honestly, I love that. I mean, as I was just talking about this film I'm working on, I mean, it's a top-down kind of thing in terms of the morale on a set, and like, I think that kind of joy does translate. I mean, there's some movies you can't make fun. I just watched All Quiet on the Western Front, which I had not seen. And if you have not seen that, you maybe see it because it's amazing.
The old one or the new
The newest
Berger?
one,
Oh,
yeah.
it's outstanding.
It's so outstanding, but God, it's hard to watch because there are visuals that are just you can't get out of your head. And I'm super sensitive to things, and there's stuff
Lots
that I'm
of
just
dead,
like, wow.
mangled bodies.
It's
Yeah,
bleak. It's
I mean, anyway, anyway. So that was what was I talking about? There was 2 things. Video games.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Damn it. I'll think of it later. All right.
Prior to production, Disney animators.
Oh, that's it. Thank you. All right. The other video game. Okay. The other thing is video games is part of the reason why Disney said yes. They knew that the rise of video games was getting bigger and bigger.
Well, yeah, originally they said no one wants to see a movie about video games. And then video games got super popular
Yeah.
and they said, all right, we'll do
All
it.
right, we'll do it. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I mean, video games. Just saying.
Disney animators refused to work on this movie because they thought computers were going to steal their jobs. So they said no.
And now they are.
And, well, yeah, they're not wrong. In fact, 22 years later, Disney closed down its hand-drawn animation studios in favor of CGI. But then, of course, John Lasseter came back and went, "What? No. Open it back up. We're bringing in the hand-drawn people because that's what people want to see and that's real." So that's what they did. So thanks to John Lasseter, it reopened.
But wasn't John Lasseter behind Toy Story as well?
He was, yeah, absolutely.
And that was the first all-digital feature.
Pixar was all him, baby. Yeah,
that's interesting.
But then he's the one who said, "No,
Well,
we
him and
need
Steve
we
Jobs,
need an
but,
arm for hand-drawn animation. We
Interesting.
still need to do that." Yeah,
Fascinating.
yeah. Which I believe Lilo and Stitch was the big one that came back after
I'm
that.
just not on board with that movie. But
You don't like Lilo and Stitch?
I just don't
What
care.
is wrong with you?
Just don't care at all.
I remember about as well
Oh,
as
you
Tron
hate
Legacy.
Hawaiians.
No, I do not.
You
Yeah,
hate
you do.
Hawaiians. You missed the pre-show monologue.
Wait,
Yeah.
is there I don't know. I've never seen it, so I guess I should give it a chance. I didn't.
We've never seen it?
You've never.
Let's stop with
come
the
on.
opinion.
What?
Yes.
Uninformed opinion. End of line.
Right.
Oh my God.
How do you know you don't like broccoli if you've never tried broccoli? I've had this same conversation when my children were 3.
I can look
You're
at
a
it and go,
3-year-old, John.
no. God,
Wow.
you guys are really rough on me.
Oh my gosh.
We were rough on 3-year-olds.
Originally, they wanted a bigger star to play Kevin Finn. They wanted an action
Now,
star.
who's Kevin Finn?
Kevin Flynn?
Flynn?
Flynn. But Lisberger said
Schneider?
no. Said Jeff Bridges.
He's going to have a bunch of names. Oh my God.
You were talking about Fantasy Island earlier, how they remade it with Andy McDowell, and it was great. Now I want to see Fantasy Island redone with Andy McDowell.
Yes, why not? Malcolm.
But they're going to leave in the voice of Malcolm. It's a little Greystoke for you. Originally, Disney wanted Peter O'Toole
Yeah, they talked about that in the...
for the role of Sark. But
Yeah.
even Lisberger said, I think he is too serious. And I think it'll change the tone of the movie.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I get that.
David Warner's a great bad guy. Now, I wrote an article a number of years ago for themovieguys.net about 80s jerks. Who are the best 80s jerks?
Yeah,
One guy
that's
was
awesome.
Robert Prescott. Do you know that name?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite Robert Prescott movie?
All of them.
You don't know what
Remind
you're
me.
talking about.
No, Zapka is obviously.
Zapka's
No,
in
I
there,
know
of
who
course.
Robert Prescott is, but I can't think of a name.
Okay, so William Atherton, of course, is in there.
Oh,
as well.
yes.
Paul Gleason.
100%.
Right? These guys are all famous
With your
jerks.
bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't be throwing anybody.
Yeah. So Robert Prescott played the bad guy in Real Genius,
Yeah.
Kent, and the bad guy in Bachelor Party.
Yep.
So, but two different types of jerks: super high class jerk and then like nerd jerk. So he's one of the best. But David Warner fits right in there because he was a bad guy in Time After Time, Time Bandits, Tron, and then later in Titanic outside of the 80s. But like those are
Yeah.
4 great villain roles.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a time he was nice except maybe The Omen, and it didn't go well for him. But and then all T titles, which I don't know what that means.
He
Time
only does
Bandits,
movies that
Time
start with
After
T.
Time,
Which is,
Tron,
if you're going to do
Titanic.
it, a lot of movies start with the. So it's a smart move if you're going to pick a letter.
Also,
But I think when you go villain, you go with the best. You don't go Peter O'Toole. You go with
Yep,
David Warner.
that's
He
right.
did
Yeah.
a great job.
he did a great job, and I guess he was also famous for doing one of the like quintessential Hamlet live Hamlets in London or England.
Didn't know that.
London,
Stage
England.
actor.
In London,
Surprised
England.
Yeah, and Dillinger himself is super Empire, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like it's
Oh, yeah.
British, all dark, black, and shiny.
100%.
You know, so yeah, that was
Absolutely. You
very-
could see him as a Grand Moff.
Yeah, he's a
No.
Moff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Moff AF.
Yeah, I know. He's Moff AF, which is a sentence I never thought I'd
I
actually
mean,
say.
that's a brand new one.
Cindy Morgan. Disney did not want her because she was best well known for Caddyshack, and they didn't think that she could bring the warmth and intelligence of a programmer to the role.
Now
I
we met
mean-
her, right? We met her, didn't we?
We
at
met
Comic-Con?
her down at Comic-Con, yeah.
that's
She was delightful and wonderful and fantastic.
And rest in peace, currently.
Yeah.
Oh,
and rest in peace,
I'm
Kurt.
sad to hear that.
But-
she was awesome in this film, and I was struck by just how lovely she comes off on screen. Like obviously she's physically beautiful in the film, but she just, her essence, she's just warm and inviting and fun and tough to play a role as a female, I think, where in the storyline she's going to go revisit her ex-boyfriend to try to help him with the boyfriend she's with now, and somehow you still like her, and you're like behind all of this.
It was an
right?
interesting,
like,
kind of love triangle that they set up between those three. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found her charming. I found her adorable, and it made me think Caddyshack. Then she had this, and I'm thinking to myself, why don't I know more Cindy Morgan projects?
Yeah.
And I don't. And I was thinking I should. She's great. She's
awesome.
wonderful.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her and Boxleitner are kind of in a different movie from Bridges.
I agree.
Like, they're in a super cheesy... I mean, granted, I think they're trying to set up Boxleitner as super cheesy in real life as a Nerdenheimer computer guy.
Yeah.
So he can be the hero in the digital world. But they were kind of in a different movie than Bridges, who seemed very real and natural and fun. And
Yeah. And the same in both. Boxleitner originally thought the script was too weird, so he turned it down. Then they showed him concept art, and he went, all right, this could be pretty cool.
Also, in the documentary, he said because Jeff Bridges signed on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that was the other reason. They approached him several times.
Boxleitner?
And he kept saying no.
Yeah.
And then they finally invited him in, and of course, that's when they showed him all the artwork and stuff. Yeah.
Why wasn't Boxleitner a bigger star, Paul? I'm asking you.
Yeah, why is that?
I had nothing to do with it.
I feel like you did. No.
But I see what you're saying. I could have had something to do with his success, and I didn't. So either way, I'm a failure.
I appreciate your ownership of all that.
There are some people, it's just like their timing.
Well, this is what I was saying about like some of these TV actors, who are in things.
Yeah.
I mean, he went on. Ironically, he didn't have the film career, but he went on to be great in TV with Babylon and Scarecrow. Right?
Yeah.
Scarecrow, Mrs. King. That was him. Right?
Scarecrow,
Yep.
Mrs. King, and it was in Babylon. Warner actually was on an episode, and they had scenes together.
Nice.
Kind of a fun reunion.
Oh my god.
I think I just blew that fun fact.
Oh. That doesn't mean it was any less fun.
No,
I mean, it's still
I felt like it was still just
fun
marginally fun.
fact about Tron.
Some of the stunt doubles and extras in the grid games were drawn from gymnasts and athletes because nobody really knew what a video game gladiator would look like. And
Oh,
how
that's
they should move.
interesting.
So they're like, let's get some gymnasts in there. Let's do some cool stuff. Although in retrospect, watching it, I'm like, it's not like there are a ton of gladiator moving games.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a story that Bruce Boxleitner tells on the documentary that's a little fun with Lisberger, who was always very nice, but then for whatever reason he was trying to kind of goad him one day because he really wanted him to be like, I don't know, in that focused kind of angry whatever. So he's like, I don't feel like you've been doing the work that you need to be doing to do these things with the frisbee and to make all this work. I don't feel like you've been doing it. And so he really pissed him off. And so when they went to shoot this thing, there's a moment, and it ends up in the film. There's a moment where the disc flies over his head and he catches it behind him. And he did that in the first take. And basically as a big FU. And of course, after it was done, Lisberger just kind of smiles and is like, yeah, I just did that to basically get you going.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, it's such a great moment. Yeah.
Does the end justify the means? Because that just keeps me pissed at the director the rest of the day.
I mean, I'm sure they made friends, but yeah. I think you're right about that. Yeah.
Okay, let's actually dive into the movie. We talked about it a little bit, about how they just jump into the programs in the opening. I loved the opening just of like the motherboard that we were seeing, like quick graphics down into the motherboard, and then we got the like I enjoyed this movie so much more around this time. Like, I really did. I remember liking it as a kid. It was fine. I remember seeing it as a teenager and thinking, this is slow and this is not nearly as good a movie as what I watched 10 years ago. And then as an adult, I've watched it twice now, and I really enjoyed this film.
I love hearing that, because everything about... There's so many things in this film that artistically and storytelling wise, I feel like they really took time with. I mean, that optical at the very beginning, that visual effect, it starts with them building Tron.
Yeah.
And they talk about in the documentary there were several companies, of course, ultimately that were brought on to help do all these visual effects. And there was one company that did that stuff. And that opening sequence, and with that music, that bow, 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 bow. I mean, all that's, it's just so beautiful the way we're going in. And I hadn't really realized it until watching it this time, how much this is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh my
Going
God,
down
he's
the
going into the rabbit hole. Oh my God,
you
yeah,
meet your characters,
yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, I love that.
I appreciated the score at the beginning. I had a love-hate relationship with this score because sometimes I thought the score was great and futuristic, but still melodic. And then there were other times I was really listening to it, specifically after they get out with the light cycles and then they get separated. Okay, so Tron and Lori?
Yeah,
Tron,
Yori in the
Tron and Yori
world. Yeah.
are going off to her apartment for the cutscene. Meanwhile, Flynn is doing his own thing. The background music for the two of those as they're kind of running from the recognizers, it's like it was lame. It sounded like Peter. It sounded like Peter and the Wolf of bum ba-dum, bum ba-dum, bum ba-dum. Like actually, that's March of the Ewoks, but still, it was just. I was like, this doesn't fit, and it was really, really low, so you could barely hear it. I was like, they're not proud of this. They're not. This was. Oh, it's due tomorrow. This is what we came up with.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
That's funny.
Other times I love the score. We'll get back to more of that in Journey later. Thoughts about just jumping right into the story?
Well, in the movie, Tron looks like the easiest game in the world, right?
Right.
Big red thing coming at you, pew, 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 and he blows it up. Here comes another one, pew, 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 and he blows it up.
Yeah.
The game in real life, if you went to play is hard.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
It's you have to know patterns and things and get like all sorts of different. You
The
gotta work
light cycle
quickly.
thing alone
Yeah.
on the arcade game was so difficult.
Right, but that was also the coolest part.
Oh my
of the
God!
game.
Yeah.
I remember how many times did you go to the arcade as a kid and hope that Tron was at whatever arcade you were at,
Yeah.
and then how many times it was also like the most broken one too, right?
It was the one that was most broken. You are correct.
But it was interesting also to see Flynn break a record or something and then just walk away from the game. You break a record. It's like the game was over. Was the game over?
The game was not over.
He just was like,
Exactly.
thanks, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. He
man. I
walked
broke
away
it.
and I was
It's
like,
like,
That's actually really. I didn't even
I'm
think
going to
about
enter
that.
in my initials if he's walking away.
That's so funny. That's kind of like actually, and I'm jumping literally to the end, but like when he gets the evidence. That part did make me laugh. It's like literally a printout of.
printout.
Oh no! Actually,
It's
the game was
evidence.
designed by Flynn.
yeah, I could have written that out.
I'm like, wait a second! I just needed to type it and print it.
Your Honor.
Fantastic! You
I
know?
submit Exhibit A.
That's some 1982 stuff right there.
We were not sophisticated when watching movies back then.
But we were willing to suspend our disbelief.
I think we just accepted whatever was hand-fed to us.
That's right. Yeah.
I will say this. We've talked about this before about actors that are just great in everything. Sometimes you go back and you watch older films. Like I rewatched not too long ago Big Trouble in Little China. And it was just like, man, oh man, to see Kurt Russell. He's at the top of his game. I mean, I don't know. You could say he's at the top of his game here, but he is so charming and watchable in every single thing that he does. He walks around a corner and you go, look at the way he walks around corners. Isn't that cool? And I felt the same way about Jeff Bridges in this.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges just being Jeff Bridges.
Yep.
Like, just is awesome.
Boxleitner says Flynn is Jeff Bridges and Jeff Bridges is Flynn. He's just like, that's just, he literally is that character.
So good.
Yeah.
My next note is about the light cycle sequence. Anything up till then?
I love a couple of things. I know we talked about that the movie just kind of throws you in. Now, I love that. Personally,
As did
I love being thrown into a film. I love not too much explanation. That's one thing I get done with sort of modern movies now. I feel like everything is so spoon-fed and everything is so overwritten and everything is so over-explained, and it really, I just find it boring. I'd much rather sort of be thrown.
Star Wars.
I mean, I'd much rather be thrown into something and not know, and then have it sort of unfold, and then go, oh. That's what that is. That's what that was that I saw. I can put that together now. Also, I enjoyed all of the overall setup Everything with what's his name in the real world? Is it Dillinger?
Yeah, that's the bad guy.
Yeah. Everything with Dillinger and him going to his big desk computer, which I thought was so cool back in the day. I mean, it's just all of that stuff, right? It's just it's just so cool to watch, and it's interesting when we get to that moment of him sitting in front of the beam that's gonna transport him in. I mean, that whole setup, it takes its time. He's there talking to the MCP and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I love all that. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Of what?
Everything.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Anything else in the movie leading up?
And anything else?
My next note is light cycles.
Yeah, the light cycles. Go. You want to jump in with it?
Well, first I'll take a step back. Dan Shore as Ram. I was like, I had forgotten that character even existed.
Right.
In my mind, I was like, no, he goes down, he meets Yori, he meets Tron, and then of course, we got the accounting program. All right, but I was like, who is this Ram? Where did he come from? Did we meet him? Was there a Dan Shore character on the outside that I missed? But he was, obviously just in there so he could die, being another one.
And he looked very familiar. And did you find out why he looked familiar?
No.
He's Mr. the Kid. In Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, he was Billy the Kid.
Oh my God!
His face looked totally familiar, and I was like, why do I know that? And I looked him up. He's like,
Mr.
oh
the
my
Kid.
God.
we're with you, Mr. the Kid.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
So I was excited to see him.
I did not look that up and know why, but that's pretty great.
He tells a funny story in the documentary where he was walking down some street in Hollywood, and somebody walked by him and said, "Man, I hate your nose." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I hate your nose." And I'm like, why do you hate my nose? He's like, "'Cause I worked on your nose for the last year." He was one of the compositors, and I guess he had to go in and like physically clean something up. He's like, "I hate your nose."
That is too funny.
I love it. I mean, in general, and we talk about this on the show because I like to sing out for the unsung heroes and the visual effects people, editorial, post-production, all that stuff, often just don't get the accolades, I think, in filmmaking that they really, truly deserve because, and much like the film I'm working on right now, I was talking with the producer, director, writer, and, we've talked a lot about how, you get into post-production, it is another stage of writing also because and not just necessarily like, oh, we're going to keep this line or we're going to cut that line or whatever it is. It's rhythms, it's tones, it's how choosing shots and why are we seeing a reaction versus seeing someone say a line and all of that kind of stuff. But that poetry of it is part of the visual and audio storytelling that makes you feel a film, makes you care about it, makes you want to go, oh my God, I love this and I feel this,
Now might be a great time, Sean, since you watched the documentary. I have it in my notes, but you could probably explain it better being more the tech guy. Take us through the process for how they made this effect. They shot in black and white in like a black box stage, if you will.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Which is interesting because actually, so they did. There's a bunch of stuff that happened. So first of all, Lisberger, he had a company that was basically doing animation and stuff like that, and they had started playing with this process of backlighting. And essentially, it has to do with like creating a negative and then putting this other thing on top. And I mean, it's a process to get through. Right. But the original tests that they did for Disney, they actually originally wanted to shoot everything against white. That was their original intention.
More like
I think they were going to
more like THX.
Yeah. Well, I think they were going to like probably use a reverse negative, and then that was how they were going to be able to matte stuff out, and they were going to get their backgrounds and all of that kind of stuff. And then what ended up happening was that they I don't know if it was one of their DPs or one of their visual effects supervisors, like, there is not enough light in all of Hollywood to make as much white on the screen as you want to make.
Right.
There's no way we can do this. And so that's when they were like, okay, well, then we have to shoot against black in order to achieve this effect. There's a few things that they did. One, they shot the whole film in black and white.
Right. Then they immediately drew in the lines, hand drew the lines in.
So this part is also really interesting.
By cell.
So it started to become cost prohibitive. I
would imagine.
And they found a company in, I think it was Hong Kong or somewhere overseas that was responsible for doing that. And actually, they tell a story that one of the things that happened was when they sent the film back, some of the first reels they sent back, they didn't let whatever they were using to put that in, they didn't let it dry. And so when they got it, they were trying to pull the film apart.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I guess one of the producers called down and was like, "Hey, how's it going down there?" And like, "Not good."
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the first. There's so much to talk about with how they did this. So shot in black and white, shot against a bare stage. Now,
Yes.
we've talked about all kinds of visual effects on this show, everything from Star Wars to, all the Indiana Jones stuff and all of that. And we've also talked about with specifically with the prequels, Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson come out and say, a lot of comments about hating working with green screen,
Yes.
hating working with a bare stage and all that stuff. I wonder if they would have felt different if it wouldn't have been green screen and blue screen, if it would have been just all black.
Well, that's interesting because Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor are theater trained.
That's exactly where I'm heading.
And it's like,
Yep.
we never get a giant set.
Right.
Black box is where you start, where that black, literally, they call it a black box theater because it looks like a box, it's black, and the only furniture you have are cubes. So that black cube is my dinner table. Okay. You got to imagine it.
Right.
That's what you do. That's the gig.
Yeah. And to your point, that's exactly right. But it did make me think. I was like, is it because they were surrounded by black that it like the essence of it made them feel
Because
like they
it
were
was
doing theater.
immediately theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they all sort of embraced it. I mean, they talked about. I mean, actually, Jeff Bridges talked about how it was hard, and he didn't love having to do that. But Bruce Boxleitner actually says, it reminded me of all the theater I had done. To your point,
100%.
And he was like, okay, so I had to really imagine. And then Cindy Morgan talks about how she was like, actually, it was fun. You had to activate the part of yourself that was like when you were a kid, and you're doing make believe, and you really have to make believe.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that part up is because I think that's one thing to commend these actors on in terms of performance is that they were in a fake space. They were in a pretend space, and they had to make it real, and they had to make the stakes real, and they had to make us believe that this mattered, what they were doing. I mean, even the moment of them drinking the water, right? Or whatever that's supposed to be, the energy or whatever it's supposed to be, right? I mean, that they really make you feel like, oh my God, like I wanted water afterwards almost. Like it makes you feel that moment. So anyway, in terms of that, that process was so big, and this is why I say this movie was groundbreaking on so many levels, because now we take it for granted. You look at the end titles of a movie, Spider-Man or whatever, and it's like there's all these different companies that did visual effects, and but this was a movie that kind of started that. I mean, and the fact that if you watch the documentary, there are several companies in 1982, which I didn't even, that are doing CGI.
Yes, they...
Like what? In 1982. Oh, and by the way, just real quick, one of the companies would deliver what they were working on by single frame over a phone line. So this is before the internet.
Oh, interesting.
They found some way to use a phone line to send data. I was like, what?
Yeah.
They do. I mean, this is incredible. The amount of stuff that came out of this that nobody even acknowledges.
Well, I mean, to give them credit, from what I understand from the internet's creator, Al Gore, in the 1960s, they originally had, like 10 colleges that could communicate. What I was going to say was the original credits for this movie that were in theaters actually had, in Chinese characters, the credit to those companies.
Yes, that's
Which
right.
I found fascinating that they originally had credits in Chinese. The breakdown of what I was looking for was.
Can I just jump back real quick?
Yeah.
Just to say the actual effect of that backlighting, though. The amount of passes they had to do.
Yes.
I mean, which actually. Oh, and that was the other thing they talk about. That I thought was really interesting. So some of the CG digital effects. Or maybe it had to do with the backlight. No, it was the backlighting. Because they were filming it on film, when you get film, and this is something I didn't know, when you order film to like raw film, so it's basically all one long strip, really.
Yeah.
But now we're cutting it up, right? But so if you get it, if you don't take the film and film with the film cans in the order it was given to you, there's a possibility that those film stocks will be different by at least one stop.
Right.
And so there's going to be a shift in terms of your image. And so what was happening was they were looking at dailies and they're looking back at things they're doing with the backlighting, and there would suddenly be a jump in how the light was being captured on the film stock. And they're like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
And so they literally had to go back into the warehouse and go, wait a second, okay, these are the boxes and we've just been grabbing.
Yeah.
We need to go in this order. But now they've already shot a bunch of film. So this is where I thought it was genius. What they did was they had their CG department do these things for the backgrounds, where every once in a while you hear it in the sound effects.
Yep.
You hear this like, right,
Yeah.
and something kind of blows out a little bit or something, or like a little right comes by. So every time that happened in the film stock, they had the CG department create something, and they had
something
so that they could just use it as it's a power surge, or
Happy
it's a
mistake.
whatever.
Something
Yeah.
that was a mistake.
Yeah.
They ended up turning into the film, and
Right.
Lisberger said, add a sound effect to it, put it as part of the score, we'll make it as a part of this world.
And what an amazing aesthetic
idea.
that like, to me, I can't even imagine the movie without that. Like, happy accident. So
So what I was getting at was the footage was originally printed. It was high contrast Kodalith, and then layered each cell individually for glowing lines.
Yep.
Each cell, people, 24 frames per second.
Yep.
Okay, 60 seconds in a minute, and then 60 or 120, 2 hours. I don't know the exact length, but let's say 150,000 cells, people,
Yeah.
for an hour,
Yeah.
for a 90-minute movie, roughly. And then some shots were used up to, and then each frame was exposed multiple times to different colored filters. Multiple. Anywhere
because
from
they had
16...
because they had to expose it for the face,
Right.
for the all that stuff. Yeah.
So some shots were exposed 16 to 26 times per frame to build this visual complexity.
Which, by the way, is why sometimes, like, if you watch certain scenes in the film, some look more grainy than others, because they're running that through, the optical printers to get that ultimately all, composited together.
Right.
Because, it was a different process back in the day. There was no film out process.
Right.
Now we have a film out process. So
And there was no technology to exist for a shot to contain both computer animation and live actors.
Right, that's right.
So they're like, this doesn't exist. We're going to attempt to do it.
Right.
And that was one of the things that I found about this film that I absolutely loved. I'll give you a specific example. I really appreciated the blending of the live action with it. And sometimes it's cheesy, but other times you just buy it. The light cycle sequence, I think, is so well done.
Yeah.
Cutting back and forth from first person to then,
Yes.
you get your your Iron Man view, if you will, of the head inside the cycle.
Yep.
Cutting back and forth between those, which works 100% for me.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. But I'm also going to Sark's death. When Tron takes the disc and it splits Sark's head
Oh
in
my
two,
God.
which was cool. They first have Sark start to fall down, and then they cut to a wide, and then it's hand-drawn animation of just the body mostly falling down and then dissipating. And I was like, oh, because they didn't have the technology to do that
Right.
as a computer. Right. How are you going to do it if you're doing it practically? And just by tossing it, once again, the magic of movies, of just like close up, he starts to fall, and then it's like, we cut to our wide, and it's finally finishing. He hits the ground and dissipates. I was like, but it's not a long enough shot for you to go, so blatantly that's animated. That's not a dancing penguin from Mary Poppins.
Right.
Even I think sophisticated audiences back then just would have gone, wow, that looked cool.
yeah.
The technology was way ahead of its time with this movie, and so well done.
And all of that, I guess maybe not all of it, but a lot of that credit does go to Lisberger, because he had developed this process with his folks, whatever, in his company. Like, they had developed this was all being developed before they got to do the movie. Like, by the time they went to do the movie, he knew how he wanted to do the movie. There wasn't really a lot of questions about. I mean, there was a question about whether or not it was going to work, but he had tested things. Some of the early tests even look. You look at them and you're like, that still looks really, really great. So I mean, I think the idea that he had spent all this, why I compare him to George Lucas, and I'm like, I hear that list of other movies he did, and I'm like, no, he should have done the next big whatever movies that, I'm like, clearly there was stuff in this guy that I don't know, maybe Tron was his pinnacle, and that's fine too.
I think he's an idea guy, and he's not a tech guy, and George Lucas is an idea guy, but when it comes down to it, he is a tech guy.
Well, I don't know. I think Lisberger was definitely technically inclined as well. If you hear him in this documentary, he knows his stuff. Yeah. So I mean, he definitely was involved in the totality of this, and that's why, like, even when they went to finally pitch this to Disney, he had. I mean, I think he had the whole thing storyboarded already. I mean, yeah. I mean, he was this guy was creating a vision, and yeah, it's a good lesson.
For me, on my notes, after light cycle sequence, they go back to Yori's apartment, which I found fascinating. Do you know about this deleted scene?
No, I'd like to hear about it.
Tron and Yori go take a break to hide back in her apartment while they're running. In the regular movie, they get separated from Flynn.
Right.
And then Flynn's gone, and the two of them are on the run, all by themselves. They go back to her apartment, and there is a love scene.
Wait, are you serious?
Okay. There's not nudity per se, but she takes off her helmet and takes off, then it doesn't take off. She transforms into this sheer gown that she's then wearing in front of him, and then he approaches, and there's all sorts of mood lighting, and it is a combination of that 60s, love making and Tron. It very much is. But you also realize there's a reason why they cut this scene, because this is just, we don't need this at all.
No, that doesn't add anything.
It's weird. It's like a 2-minute
and what
scene.
Does digital sex sound like input, output, input, output, input, output?
Yeah, it was very, very, very wild. It was like technology lovemaking versus human love. I'm going to pause I'm not pausing, but I've been in podcasts I've been listening to. I've noticed on 2 different podcasts, like in news now, they're now saying human instead of human. Is that a thing that people are doing?
Those are the humans from Yuma.
Right.
I have no idea.
They've been saying human beings.
Human beings.
And I'm like, I read back, and then I heard it a second time. I'm like, human beings. And I was like, why aren't they saying human? And in a totally different podcast, they actually said human again. And I'm like, am I not supposed to be pronouncing the H in human?
No, human is correct.
Okay.
You're right, and others are wrong. That's correct.
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention that we didn't chat about too much, and I think it's important to mention, is that sadly, Tron was denied a nod at the Academy Awards.
Yes.
It was not allowed to enter for visual effects.
Yeah.
Because they used computers, they were cheating.
They thought
and then when
they were
you hear
cheating.
what these filmmakers went through to make this movie, you're like, are you kidding me right now?
Cheating? We did 26 passes on the film.
There's somebody literally drawing little lines.
150,000 cells.
I mean, oh my God, it's just it's just astounding. But it reminds me of where we are today.
Well, wait, no. First, we have to recognize this is 1982. These are the same people that chose Chariots of Fire as Best Picture over Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I mean that was a mistake. But the thing is, we're in this space today with AI, and AI is getting really, really interesting. I struggle because I'm like, I know I need to learn this. I need to implement this as part of my understanding of what this workflow is, whether or not I use everything, because at some point it's going to get used. You can try to deny it all you want, but at some point it's going to get implemented more and more, and people these studios are going to fight for certain things. They're not going to win everything, but they're going to fight for certain things, because at some point somebody's going to go, well, if I can make an Elvis movie with Elvis,
right?
Why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
Like
you want more Indiana Jones with a young Harrison Ford?
Yeah. Why am I not doing
you.
that? Because, 20, 30 years from now, is it going to be going on to Netflix and going, hey, Netflix, I'd like to have a movie with Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, but I want it to be like a cross between Raiders of the Lost Ark and E.T.
Oh, my God.
So you're
Netflix
literally just...
AI.
Yeah, Netflix AI.
Movie by request.
Movie by request, and it takes 5-10 minutes, and it goes, your movie's ready, and then you sit down and you watch an original film completely created head to toe from AI. But look, I don't think that that's an impossibility.
No.
But the and there's all kinds of moral and ethical questions around like people's likeness and stuff. But look, this AI thing is and I'm digressing a little bit, but I wanted to chat about this anyway because
talking about
technology.
AI during a Tron conversation is not digressing.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, especially because they're putting someone in the computer, which I want to say, I don't know if you guys have heard anything about the sort of death side of the AI business, but there are companies that are now essentially creating AI avatars of people who've passed away for people. So, you want to talk to grandpa again. And, if you feed into an AI engine all the video and all the stills that you have of grandpa for as long as he lived, and you feed that into an engine and you go, okay, here's my avatar and here's whatever. And then I want this to be able to react in a natural way. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get to that place more and more 100%,
and more. 100% that'll be a business.
Yeah. No, it already is a business.
Yeah. I see ads on social media for like a picture of a baby and they say, make your old photos come to life. And then next to it is a video of the baby laughing and smiling.
Yeah,
right.
That was a photo minutes ago.
Yeah,
right.
And it's interesting too for stuff. I'm sure you've seen these pieces that are from like 1916 or whatever, like these old pictures that they bring to life, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of amazing. Like, is that really what they would have done in that moment? Probably not. But it's interesting.
We can finally see all the video footage that Nicolas Cage is in throughout time.
I've heard that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot to unpack, but I will say this. One of my biggest takeaways from the documentary and what made me fall in love with this movie and the filmmakers even more was they were just so positive about where technology was headed.
Yeah.
They were excited about it, and Paul, you bring this up, like, I want to see movies by filmmakers who are passionate about what they're talking about. And I think these folks were. I think they were passionate about what they were making. This movie, to me, was not just like an action movie or a sci-fi whatever kind of movie. It was actually an art piece as well. I really think this was an artistic endeavor for these filmmakers. So anyway.
Yeah.
People love what other people are passionate about.
This is true.
Ooh, that's great. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a real life example. My wife said, hey, I got us tickets at the Orange County Fair to go see these two people. And I was like, I've never heard of them, but I love the fair, so I'm in. I'm always going to go. And we go, and it was a girl that I'd never heard of before, Rachel Plattern. She sings This Is My Fight Song. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this song. But she played that last. So I knew, my wife's like, oh, you'll know that one song. Watching someone do something they are absolutely passionate about is it's engrossing.
Yeah.
It comes over you. You want to be a part of it. That concert is one of the most fun concerts I've ever been to because you could tell she was so happy that people were there at the concert with her. And I went out and I immediately bought her album. And there's so many great songs that are on it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this is fantastic. And she was in concert with Andy somebody
McDowell. Right.
It was Andy McDowell. Nah, baby, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should. Whoever it is, whatever his name is, was another one. Like, they are having so much fun on stage. There is no way not to have fun at this concert. I didn't know any of their music going into it, and it was fantastic.
Have you ever seen Man on Wire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Philippe Petit
100%.
talks about walking on a wire
Yes.
with more passion than anything I've ever done in my life.
Exactly.
I've done nothing with my life. And this guy talks about the way this guy talks about walking on a tightrope.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
unbelievable.
phenomenal documentary.
Yeah.
I love all this talk. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I think this is the thing that is not. We live in a world right now where everybody wants to measure everything. people want to measure how they're sleeping, and they want to measure how much they're working out. They want to measure, this and that, and all this stuff, and that's fine. You do you. But there comes a point, I think, with creativity, with art, with storytelling, where what your passion is matters. The other day we took my son to an Angels game. We go quite often during the season because he loves the Angels, and it was not a good game. It was a tough game to watch, and it was rough. But he's also a baseball player, and so there's a lot of things that he understands that I don't. And so he was talking about certain things and whatever, and he got real passionate. He was pissed about the fact that both my wife and I were kind of dogging the game. And he got really pissed about the fact that we were dogging the game. And I realized it's because he loves this so much that he's willing to defend it.
Yeah.
And I even complimented him about that, because I was like, I get why you're pissed about this, because we're dogging the thing you love. And anyway, so I think anytime there's passion involved with something, I think that matters.
Oh, 100%.
But I also think it's not measurable always on a spreadsheet. There's no app that's going to always tell you, oh, you must be passionate about this. Good, you should do that. Like that. That's not a thing. Like, you feel it and you do it.
No, I've said this. If someone comes along in a studio and says, we should make this IP, who should we get to direct it? Hey, how about that guy? I might watch that movie. I'd rather watch the movie where a guy comes to a studio and says, if I don't make this film, I'm going to die.
100%.
I want to see that film.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next note going into, they finally get over to it's not the MCP, it's the before the NCP. They go to the old guy, the old program.
Barnard Hughes.
I thought that was the entire movie. I'm like, Art Carney just does everything. And then I finally went, I don't think that's Art Carney. And I had to look it up, and I went, not Art Carney.
I still wonder how he felt, Barnard Hughes, playing Dumont. He's
a
fairly well-respected Emmy actor.
You
He's
can watch
a blob of computer and stuff with hands flopping out.
Yep, hands in
a weird hat.
You can answer that question by watching the documentary, because he's on it.
I watched the wrong movie for this episode.
No, because what I loved...
I watched Tron.
Right,
like
so did I. We were so dumb.
He's awesome in the documentary, because all the actors really were like, I don't quite understand what this is or what we're doing, but we're trusting Lisberger, and we're just going to go in and do it. And he was another one where he's like, I don't know what this is. And he's like, well, how do I do? He's like, and I think Lisberger started giving notes like that were like, just say these lines with conviction. Like just believe that what
faster and more
intense.
intense.
Say your nonsense.
But I think he was able to get people on his side, and he tells Barnard tells a funny story about I think he was with his granddaughter or something like that, and they were in some small town, so Tron had come out, they went to watch it, and so he's just watching the movie with just random people, and he's like, I didn't really know exactly what was happening, but these kids loved it. So I love that. Yeah.
In all honesty, that was the last of the notes that I had, other than at the very end, the settling on the city view with the juxtaposition of the motherboard at the very beginning. I was like, I just found this very well done.
Do you have a problem, because this was the first time this ever stuck out to me, Yori kisses Flynn passionately, and then
after, by the way, she's had a love scene with Tron.
Okay, well there's that. So she kisses Flynn. He jumps in and dies, or to her, in her eyes, I guess, saves the day. Whatever, right? Really goes home, but not even 5 minutes later,
I know where this is going.
Tron comes over and she kisses him.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
There's what's interesting too, I think, is as an audience,
it's a man's world.
Yeah.
Even digitally.
I mean, I think I don't know. I guess we kind of forgive that. That is interesting, though. That's an interesting point. The man's world thing. We definitely, back then accepted certain things that we wouldn't accept today. One thing that stuck out to me in this film, there is literally no ethnic diversity at all. The entire cast is Caucasian,
true.
And that's not okay. But
this I thought was kind of very telling and actually similar to how I feel. This was a summation that I found online. Reviewers say Tron is celebrated for its pioneering CGI and visual effects, setting a new standard for sci-fi films. Its neon-lit digital world and action sequences are praised for their immersive quality. Themes of identity, freedom, and human-technology relationships are central, explored through program creator interactions. Jeff Bridges and Bruce Boxleitner's performances are highlighted along with Wendy Carlos's futuristic soundtrack. Despite criticisms of the plot's simplicity and pacing, Tron is regarded as a cult classic and a significant cinematic milestone. I agree with that across the board, with the exception of the score. I'm not so great. So high on the score.
I'm going to defend the score. First of all, I do generally like the score. I'm sure there's a few moments that maybe I don't love as much, but I generally do like the score. I do think it was, for that time, you go back and you have to think about what was digital music like.
Okay.
This was the beginning of like keyboards being used, and not just keyboards being used, but now we're implementing samples. Now we're implementing digital drums. We're implementing any of that stuff, right? Which, by the way, when we get to Tron Legacy, is one of my favorite things is the score. But I think this sets that up.
Speaking of the score. The Carlos and Anne-Marie Franklin, they used Wendy Carlos and Anne-Marie Franklin. They are the two that created this, essentially. They used a Crumar General Development System, GDS, digital synthesizer. 1 of 10 made in the entire world. Disney was worried they would not finish the score on time. So they hired the London Philharmonic, without their knowledge, hired them to do sections of the score. That's what you hear in the credits. Much to the dismay of Carlos and Franklin.
Yeah.
Then, in addition to that, 2 additional music tracks were provided by the band Journey. I read this and I went, where do those pop up? Thinking that I'm a fairly decent-sized Journey fan.
Yeah.
I love their music. Let's check this out. 2 songs. Only Solutions and 1990s Theme. 1990s Theme does not have any lyrics in it. Only Solutions, I listened to it and I thought, I've never heard this song in my entire life. And they got the band Journey because British band Supertramp pulled out of the project last minute. Found that
I play the music of the places I visit on my tour when we approach them. And so
Are you kidding me? Seriously? That's so
when
cool.
you approach Flynn's
I play Only Solutions when we approach and no one knows it. It was played in the arcade during the scene when we first see Flynn in the arcade, and it's populated with a bunch of people, so it's background music in the arcade. But it's a decent song. It's good. I mean, I'm happy to play it. In the car. It's not. So I've heard it probably more than most people.
When you see Tron Legacy again, there's a great song when Flynn Kidd sees the arcade and is in the arcade and walks in. It's a popular 80s song. Listen for that and then maybe consider using that one, because I think then people will.
Sure. I mean, look, you talked
Yeah.
about the score in Tron Legacy. That's Daft Punk, and the thing I'm looking most forward to in Tron Ares is the 9 Inch Nails score.
Oh my God!
In the
that's
trailer
true.
alone,
Yeah.
it's
I was
awesome.
worried they were going to use 30 Seconds to Mars in both of them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, God. 'Cause-
And I can't recommend enough going to find the song that's already released for Tron Ares by 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, good
and
stuff.
it is an absolutely on crack music video. So
I'll check it.
yeah,
We'll
absolutely
be
worth
releasing
checking out.
that once we drop this thing. The soundtrack album for Tron was released in 1982. Sans, by the way, the final credits that Franklin and Carlos had done. Instead, they used the Philharmonic. And then it was released again in 2002. So literally 20 years later, with the 3 additional tracks that Franklin and Carlos had done, because there was a big fight over rights and what should be on there and what shouldn't be on there. So they didn't release it for 20 years.
That's fascinating.
Then finally Disney was so big, they said, give them a paycheck. We'll put it on there.
Wow. That's fascinating. There's so many moments in this movie that are visually, to me, they're just visually stunning. There's all kinds of things. I mean, like there's moments where when the MCP is punishing Sark.
Oh yeah.
And he's glowing and all that stuff. I mean, like, oh my God, like it's so fascinating. Okay. Did you guys have any of the toys?
No.
No. Okay. No.
No.
Okay. I did. And I loved them It was the little light cycle had a thing that you pulled the thing out and it would take off, which was awesome.
Cool.
And they made the action figures so they glowed in the dark.
No.
Yeah, so that was fun. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I have been on the Tron light cycle ride in Florida.
Oh, I'm so envious. I'd love
which
to go.
is
Love to go.
cool, but I have the exact same complaint that literally everyone who goes on that ride is.
Which
Too
is
short.
It's too short. It's literally 1 minute long.
Oh no.
Yeah, you
1 minute.
cannot wait in the line. That's gotta be your whatever it is, virtual queue, front of line choice for the day. If you
get one, that's what you do.
But you do that, it's no problem. It's like the money coaster, and it's too short.
It's too short. Should be longer. And if you're going to go on it at night. It just looks cooler. And then the final thing is, and if you could, if they could magically make it longer, go on it at night. And if you can be that front cycle, it is a different ride if you are in front.
Oh. Yeah. I'm curious to see if they make it longer when they bring it to California.
Wow. It'll be interesting if they do. Yeah. I mean, they didn't with Harry Potter. The Flight of the Hippogriff.
They made it 3D. It was a bad call.
Out here, the Flight of the Hippogriff is 45 seconds. I don't even think it's a minute. I think it's a minute from interaction to interaction, from load and go to next load and go. Yes.
Oh, Flight of the Hippogriff. Sorry.
Yeah, you were thinking of Hogwarts Forbidden Journey.
No, that is too short a ride.
It's way too short. That's what I'm saying. It's not even 40. It's not even a full minute.
Wasn't that designed by the same guy who did the small roller coaster in Mickey's Toontown area?
Gadgets Go Coaster. I don't know.
I think that's what I had heard anyway. So because it feels almost exactly the same. Yeah. If
you're out and about LA, you can currently go to see the Cyberpunk exhibit at the Motion Picture Academy Museum.
Oh,
they've got a Tron suit there.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my God,
that is. They've got Terminator stuff. It's a whole Cyberpunk. They've got 2001 and Matrix and stuff, but they've got a Tron suit there.
That's awesome.
You mentioned something just now, and I'm so glad you did. Thank you. The Matrix. I've often thought of Tron as the prequel to the Matrix.
I think there's definitely a barking order.
I mean, there's definitely that.
I can tell you one other way that's true. Composer Wendy Carlos used to be Walter. Is that right?
Walter Carlos.
And had a sex change.
Oh.
It's just like the directors of The Matrix. So clearly, if you dip into the Matrix wormhole, your sex will become fluid.
You come out different.
You come out fluid.
Yeah.
There you go.
It just makes you reevaluate.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some fun facts about Tron.
Fun facts about Tron.
The movie made $33,525,000. It didn't, but it made $33 million and change. The video game in the arcade over the course of the first year, they don't know exact, they estimate approximately $200 million
that tracks.
were dropped into those machines in 1 year.
Wow.
Movie made 33, $200 million.
What's interesting about that is the folks that loved the movie, that were excited about the movie, the kids, the fans, whatever, clearly we're playing some video games
100%.
a lot because if the movie only did so well, right, and the video game killed, like those are the guys playing it, guys and gals,
100%.
Yeah.
On set, they snuck in Easter eggs. Arcade classics like Pac-Man and Space Invaders appeared in the background of grid scenes. There's a Pac-Man that appears actually on Dillinger's computer on his computer.
I saw that one too.
And you can also spot a hidden Mickey beneath the Solar Sailor in the background at one point.
No way. That's so cool.
To inspire actors, we talked about this already. Arcade games were placed on the production sets and could be played during downtime. Jeff Bridges apparently was the most adept at the games and found it hard to tear himself away from a game to shoot a scene. Okay, according to an interview with Comic-Con, Cindy Morgan in 2010 told them she kept her costume and she literally traded it for a brand new Lexus. Guys, I really want a Lexus that is updated. I don't know if you saw the movie Tron that I was in, 30-some years ago. I got this costume and you have that car right there.
Wow. I mean, I love everything about that story.
How great is that? Fun facts about Tron. The state-of-the-art computer used for the film's key special effects had 2 count them, 2 megabytes of memory and 330 megabytes of storage.
Wow.
I want to say they talk about that computer in the documentary, and I believe it was a very specific computer. There were no others, and if it stopped working, the film was done. So because it had all these kind of like little bugs that like all these problems with some of the processing that they had with some of the images, and they tried to run all these like things to make sure it wouldn't do it, and they're like, well, we just gotta live with it, and like we try to figure out.
Yeah, it's amazing to track the progress. Like I just toured the Midway in San Diego. Have you done that yet?
I'm
the aircraft
about
carrier?
to spend the night on the Midway next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can stay overnight.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable? Because of a lot of bunk beds.
Y'all be staying in one of the bunk beds.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Cub Scouts.
Yeah, and you go look at the computer room there, and it's a whole bunch of refrigerators. Probably stored like eight gigs or something.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
But and then even Zodiac. I remember going to see a screening of Zodiac, and they were excited. This was one of the first digital movies shot entirely, and it had one of those blue post office boxes you'd find in the corner, sized storage for all the footage they were shooting.
Yes.
It had to be on set because that's where all the now that crap's on a card.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Oh, yeah.
amazing just to see the
progression.
I remember
progression.
working on a film that was we finished, and it was shot in super 35 millimeter, and just honestly holding film cans. It's such a surreal
I'm sure.
experience. We had a couple of prints and stuff, so I used to have to. I was an associate editor, but I used to have to literally clean the prints, and I was like, God, this is just such a weird the images are this film is coming through my hand right now. It's just crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
My final fun fact, Sean actually already did, which was the film was disqualified from receiving an Academy Award nomination for special effects because the Academy felt at the time that using computer-generated effects is cheating.
I was unaware. I thought they just got screwed, but they got super screwed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Literally said, that's cheating. We're not going to let you do it.
E.T., Poltergeist, Blade Runner, those are your nominees. First of all, you could see they were already not used to what to do with visual effects in a movie.
Yeah.
They were still 3 years out from the first fully CGI character in Young Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
But now, by 2010, when they expanded the Best Picture nominees to 10, they expanded the visual effects from 3 to 5. So even back here, they were just having 3. Like I think a couple of years before, when Empire Strikes Back won, that was just you've won.
Yeah.
They weren't even nominees. So they just so there were not a lot of visual effects. But I think you squeezed room for Tron in there.
Yeah.
And you just say, look, this is different, but that's such an arcane thought.
It just reeks of
Old
guy.
Yeah,
Old guy who's
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And back in my day, me and Harry spent hours and hours and hours with clay.
Yeah.
Making
E.T.
making a
Poltergeist,
Cyclops.
E.T. Poltergeist and Blade Runner are an E.T. one, but Blade Runner didn't win.
Right.
That's also a little shocking.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Blade Runner not winning something for visual effects is astounding, considering that movie visually is referenced now by almost every movie that does some sort of, this is what the future will be.
Yeah.
That's how amazing that movie is.
And on top of that, once again, the seamlessly blending. They seamlessly blend computer shots with matte paintings, for crying out loud. I mean, they do some incredible. It'll be computer animation with a matte painting and then an actual practical model that's in the very center of it.
Oh, I want to say, speaking of effects, there were a few other things that they talked about that were really cool with the effects. Where they, like inside the tank, how they had to build, because they had to build the look of all the whatever the lines of the chip or whatever's supposed to be, right? They had to build these things and it had to work, and
I thought those looked really cool.
it looks
The
so
interior
cool,
of the
right?
tank,
It's just so amazing how they were able to do this. And even some of the backgrounds, you think all of this stuff is they did this in the computer and stuff. No, they didn't. A lot of it was matte paintings. A lot of those digital backgrounds were actually matte paintings.
They used a matte painting. Actually, I did have this in my notes. We just went right past it. At the very beginning, when they're showing, not Tron, but Alan, exactly. He's getting out of his cubicle.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There are two things that are cool about that. One, those are the actual Walt Disney Studio cubicles.
Yeah.
But then they put in the matte painting to make it look like there are thousands of them in the background, which was great. But that was matte painting,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. So amazing.
I've always liked Sark's ship. I thought that was really cool.
Oh my God!
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
They gave it the full-on opening of Star Wars
They did.
shot at one point when it had a little tiny solar sailor and then like 9 minutes for the ship to go by.
Actually, there was an interesting story about the solar. Is it called the
Solar Sailor?
Solar Sailor. That the sails, Lisberger wanted them to be opaque. Like you could see through them a little bit, but of course that introduces all kinds of problems.
Yes.
At this time, and so the producer was like, "Well, I don't think we need to do that." And he kept fighting for it. And I think it looks amazing what they ended up with. So for that time,
Great stuff. I really appreciated this movie, and I was so glad I was able to revisit it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What would you give it? Like 1 out of 10. 10 being best.
I go back to the percentage from like when they said 73 and 69. I'm like, this is a solid 85, if not an 87 for me. This
Okay.
was a really well done film, and so much better than what I had remembered. And in doing the research, you appreciate it so much more. No,
Yeah.
85 easily. B plus.
Yeah.
B plus.
I'm going to go 87, 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
70.
A minus.
I am that guy again.
You're
Ooh.
a dick.
It's stuck in 82 a little
You're
bit.
even wearing a
It's lot of
shirt. It
timing.
says "Follow the Yellow Dick Road."
It's nice. I know what that says.
What? Yellow.
No, there's a.
You should see a doctor.
My kids listen to this. I got to take all I can listen to them for this bit. Anyway, go ahead.
Your visual joke makes no sense to the listener. No, I
we're
just
just
think
saying
I
you
just-
have a yellow dick.
I just think that first of all,
sorry.
it's nominated. Did get nominated for sound, and whatever they have on Disney Plus had terrible sound. You could barely hear half the things the MCP said, and then and all the characters' dialogue was way quieter. And then there'd be then there'd be sound effects, and they'd be pulverizingly loud.
Yeah.
So I thought that sound was terrible. So
Yeah.
it was weird to see that it was nominated for that. Maybe I need to watch a 4K disc or something that I don't have.
Can I jump
felt
in
the
real-
sound, I watched it on Disney Plus, and I also felt that the sound mix was very, very poor. Now,
Yeah.
once again, I was noticing it most during the score when I went, they're trying to hide this right now, is what it came off to me.
It's very odd that they have these sound problems, and I think it's a fairly consistent issue, especially with sci-fi and action films, where it's like, the dialogue's way down here, and then it's,
Yeah.
it's huge, right? I don't
100%.
understand, especially because some years back they passed this thing called the COM Act, and the COM Act is essentially sound has to live within certain sonic levels, highs and lows. For delivery, that's by the government. Whatever.
Broadcast safe.
Yeah, broadcast safe. Yeah, and so it's odd to me that the dialogue and the effects and all that stuff isn't in a space where you can hear it better. I mean, how many times are you like turning up your dialogue and then big action scene happens and you turn down the big action? I mean, it happens
anything
all
I watch at
the
night.
time.
I'm the last one to go to sleep. I will wake up children or my wife if I listen to everything now with headphones.
Yeah.
If I'm listening
Yeah.
to it late at night.
Yeah.
For that very reason, so I
Yeah.
don't have to constantly go up and down with the volume.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to do something where they kind of even the sound out a little bit more. And some of it too is like more modern films. There's a lot of actors today that they do scenes and they do them like this, and then everything is very quiet. And
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they think that
Yeah, Alec
everything
Baldwin.
is that, right? And that becomes. I heard a story. Somebody was saying something about a sound guy who was dealing with one of these actors, and it's just like everything was just like they felt.
No,
like
I was
I don't
on the set of General Hospital. I'm playing a coroner, and people on the other end of the body were talking to one another, and I couldn't hear my cue. I'm like, "Would you like a moment alone before we take him away?" Did you say the line that I couldn't? They're over there going,
Right.
It's going to be fine on camera, but in person, I couldn't hear a thing.
I was talking to a sound man one time. I forget what I was working. I was working on a commercial. He was on summer hiatus from 24, and he said Kiefer Sutherland. He said he's never had anyone who talks softer than him. He said everything he says is, all right, Chloe, what we got to do is we got to get out of here, and then we got to make sure that everyone's going to be okay. And it was just like, I was like, it's that soft? He's like, you have no idea. And then I made the joke about Harrison Ford because, Harrison Ford for a long time, in my opinion, I think it was because of all the marijuana he's smoking. Everything that he was saying was always, whoopsh, like it was just nonstop. But I mean,
Kid, it ain't that kind of movie.
exactly. He's like,
It's my favorite quote of all
I
time.
do. I love that quote too. I love it so much. It makes me so happy.
so
All right. Well, Paul, I understand your
Yeah,
point
the
of view on
acting's
it,
not
though.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, but
oh,
I
you
get,
don't
I
think
get
the
everything
acting's
else.
good in this?
Not really. I mean,
Oh.
David Warner's great. Bridges is having a lot of fun. A lot of it's super cheesy.
You don't think Bruce
otherwise.
Boxleitner or
I mean, I know they wanted to separate his character in the real world from his heroic Tron character, but it was just cornball. It's stuck in the 80s, you know?
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, we encourage everybody to have their own opinion here. So
I
that's
think the 70s good. It's like a B-, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I
Yeah.
think
Well,
you're
if
too
it's
harsh.
an AP class, it's a B plus.
I was on a plane coming back from Hawaii just recently on vacation, and they had 250 movies that I went through, and I was like, there are 4 of these that I'm kind of interested in watching. Tron was not one of them. I'd have watched that in a heartbeat, but I feel like there's so many movies out there that's just crap. So I don't know. I think that's why I give it a
There's so much
B+.
crap that won't even make the cut of being on a plane also.
Well, you're right. 100%.
Yeah. I think one thing I wish is I wish we had some kind of a quiz to talk about.
Hey!
What? Oh my God, are you serious?
Bazinga! Okay, so we're talking about a movie that was a video game that spawned a franchise, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
this is going to be games that became movies.
Oh.
All right? So, you have to know about video games that became movies in order to play this game. Now, I know I am the biggest gamer out of the two of you, so I could pass this quiz. Actually, 1 or 2 of these, I was like, don't remember that.
You're the biggest gamer out of the two of us.
Right.
All right.
Am I here? Am I even here?
I guess out of the 3 of us compared to the 2 of you.
Yeah.
All right.
I consider you two to be one
Of the
person.
2 of you, I'm the smartest.
Hey, we're just human beings.
We're humans.
Just a bunch of
We're
humans.
just a bunch of humans. All right.
All right.
In the Super Mario Brothers movie, what bizarre job do the Goombas have? Are they A, nightclub bouncers? B, I almost said 2. B, plumbers in training? C, dinosaur jazz musicians? Or D, electricians with tiny, tiny tool belts?
Oh.
I don't remember.
Paul's first question is, what is a Goomba?
I don't remember.
I mean, it does sound like a
I'm
Goomba
gonna go-
running a nightclub.
what was the third one?
Dinosaur jazz musicians.
I'm gonna go with that.
No, it was
They're
nightclub
not-
bouncers.
Yeah, it's nightclub. Yoshi's a dinosaur. He's trying to fool you there.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. It gets easier from here on.
Oh,
out.
thank God.
Which actor
He
played?
led with the most popular, like really the only hit that's a video game turned into, except for
you're not-
Minecraft.
you're
Did you
not
guys
wrong.
like the
You're not wrong.
Mario movie, the new one that came out?
I did.
Did you
I
like
did.
it? Yeah,
I found
think
it
it's-
very funny.
It's fun with kids.
My
it's-
kids
it's-
loved
it's-
it. I found it very
Yeah,
funny.
it's endearing.
A 70, a B minus.
You are the
Listen,
yellow dick.
Yellow dick. Which actor played Agent 47 in the 2007 Hitman movie? A, Jason Statham. I'm not totally bald, but I'm mostly bald. I'm Jason Statham. B, Vin Diesel. He's bald. And family. C, Timothy Oliphant. Or D, Agent 47. Hitman was a video game, Sean.
Yeah, I get that part. It's the bald part that I don't understand. You
Oh,
made 2 bald jokes.
Agent 47 is
bald.
Bald.
Got
Totally
it.
bald.
Okay, now I
or
get the
D,
concept there.
Mr. Clean.
All right, Timothy Oliphant.
Mr. Clean.
I would have liked to have seen a Mr. Clean, if only. It's funny. You know what I just did? I actually have this printed out, but I literally, after that question, reached down, took my fingers and scrolled up. It didn't get any higher. It was weird. In The Last of Us.
I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
You are correct. It was Timothy.
Just for the audience. I know.
Yeah.
What spreads the infection? A, mosquitoes. B, expired kombucha. C, cordyceps fungus. Or D, sharing one too many sourdough starters.
It's fungus.
Yep.
Have you not seen The Last of Us?
Nope.
It's fantastic.
That's what I hear.
I'm in the middle of
I
season
just
2, and by
can't-
season 2, I mean episode 3. And episode 2, I don't know. I'm watching it now. This came out how many months ago? And I don't know how this wasn't spoiled for me. I'm not saying anything because this is not a show about that. But holy crap!
Yeah.
How did,
Right.
I just don't know how that I'm a pop culture guy. How has no one told me accidentally about this?
Because he didn't know Thor was fat. They set the precedent for keeping secrets, Marvel.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Didn't
your
know Thor
point.
was
Yeah.
fat.
Okay.
Didn't know they destroyed the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these different things. And so now it's like, if you want to keep a secret, they can do it now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's nuts to me that somebody didn't just mention it, and I don't see memes all over the place.
I have a question because
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
In The Last of
Us. How does it compare to The Walking Dead?
It's good. It's different. Okay, this was based on a video game, and considered one of the best video games of all time. It, I think, takes turns more so than you were, because it's following something that has already been scripted, and it's something that's a formula for video games. This takes turns you're not expecting to see in a television series.
I see.
It's good.
Okay.
It's very good, but there are a lot of the same themes there.
Better? Like, is it more disturbing visually? Because honestly, that's why I haven't watched it, because I don't normally watch things that are too visually...
No, Walking Dead has more disturbing
Oh, okay.
visually.
All right,
and
well, then
Last
maybe
of
I'll check
Us
it out.
is not pleasant, though.
right.
Okay, good to know.
All right, number 4. In the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, why did the internet collectively panic at the very first trailer?
Because of the way Sonic was made. They didn't like it.
Sonic had human teeth.
It's multiple choice, Sean.
B,
I thought it was a fill in the blank.
Dr. Robotnik had hair. C, Knuckles was missing. Or D, Sonic's voice was originally voiced by Gilbert Gottfried.
That's funny. I think
Okay, I'm gonna run really fast. Wasn't expecting to do a. That's the only time I've ever done Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah,
it was good.
that's
No,
fair.
it was in the Gilbert.
I'm going to try it again. I'm going to close my eye.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to run really fast.
I
it
don't
better if I
know
close
it's
my
Gilbert
eyes?
Godfrey or I don't know who it is, but it's a great character. I mean, you should
The great
put that.
Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
It's a dynamite Sidney Poitier.
I'm going to go with A.
By the way, the funniest joke in Chippendale Rescue Rangers, a sorely overlooked movie on Disney Plus,
I've seen that movie like twice.
It's
It is a
hilarious.
fantastic
is
film.
the appearance
It's
of
really
the crap-looking
I like that you made
Sonic
twice
the Hedgehog.
sound huge. I've seen that movie like twice.
I was going to say 3 times. I'm like, I haven't seen it 3 times. I was expecting nothing from that film, and I laughed out loud several times.
It's
wow.
just dumped on stream. Again, we talk about the lack of hype on streaming. There was no hype,
Yeah.
and no one, so no one talks about it. But the appearance of crappy-looking Sonic is one of the funnier jokes in that
Yeah,
whole movie.
no, there were several that were fantastic.
So the answer is
The answer is A. Sonic had human teeth, and then they changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5. The Mortal Kombat movie, 1995, is famous for which meme-worthy line? A. Get over here! B. Finish him! C. Mortal Kombat! Or D. Whoops! Wrong fatality.
I think it's A.
I don't know. They're all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're all pretty great, but it was Mortal Kombat screamed, followed by instant techno music.
Yeah. Have you played any of those kinds of games recently on like PlayStation or anything like that?
Not really, no.
I hadn't played any of those types of games in like, I don't know, 20 years. And we were visiting a friend and they were like, oh, play this game, whatever. I was struck by the amount of violence these games are. I'm like, you're just like blood flying and like, and the kids are in the room. I'm like, oh my God, this is just, like, I'm disturbed right now. Like, why are we doing this?
I think Mortal Kombat is rated M.
Oh,
Because of its violence.
Yeah, maybe.
So kids shouldn't have been in the room while doing that. Yeah, they are made.
My
they're
kids,
made
my
to
kids,
be
my kids
that.
are 12 and 16, so I'm fine with I'm not worried about it. But yeah,
Which game turned show features Henry Cavill in a silver wig grunting his way through monster hunts? A. Skyrim the sitcom. B. The Witcher. C. Final Fantasy. They live, laugh, love years. Or D. Toss a coin to your barista.
The Witcher.
yeah, The Witcher,
It is The Witcher. That is correct.
the show that he left to continue to be
Continue to be Superman,
and then
they ditched.
he took it in the super.
He did take it in the super shorts.
Couldn't even get it out.
In Resident Evil, what's the name of the shady company behind all of the zombie problems? Is it A, the Umbrella Corporation, B, the Poncho Group, C, Raincoat Enterprises, or D, Totally Not Evil Inc.?
D.
I think it's the Umbrella Corporation.
It is the Umbrella Corporation.
Damn it.
8. Which Pokemon did Detective Pikachu team up with to solve mysteries? A. Jigglypuff with a flashlight. B. Charizard with a trench coat. Speaking of Love Boat.
I would have loved that.
B. Charizard with a trench coat. C. Psyduck with constant migraines. Or D. Snorlax.
Psyduck.
I took some Snorlax last night. That's why I slept so well.
Yeah.
Because I have trouble sleeping these days.
Yeah.
But Snorlax helps me out with it. And it doesn't have too much caffeine.
Oh, really?
It
That's
also,
good.
it's a nice laxative for when you wake up.
Snorlax. Not only did I sleep well, I shit myself.
Snorlax. Sleep and poop.
I slept until I woke up. I woke up because I cried my pants.
We have, in the past 10 minutes, we have drastically declined. 9. In Tomb Raider, what does Lara Croft do best? A. Discover lost tombs. B. Dual wield pistols. C. Solve impossible puzzles in 2 seconds. Or D. Somehow survive falls that would break every bone in a normal human body.
I mean, aren't A and B both correct?
Yeah.
All of them are actually correct,
Yeah.
but she does survive unbelievable. Like in the game, you're constantly jumping down into stuff, and it's like you don't take fall damage in that game. It's absurd. All right, finally, number 10. Which video game famously had a bigger budget than the box office return, making it a financial fatality? Which video game movie famously had a bigger budget than box office return, making it a financial fatality? A. Doom. B. Warcraft. C. Assassin's Creed. Or D. Street Fighter the movie.
I'm going to go Street Fighter.
Can I get them again?
A. Doom.
No. They don't think they spent a lot on that.
B. Warcraft.
Spent a ton on that, but I thought it did okay. Keep going.
C. Assassin's Creed.
Fassbender? Go ahead.
Or D. Street Fighter the movie.
I'm going to say Warcraft.
D.
Street Fighter.
Boom.
Street Fighter the movie. Apparently Jean-Claude Van Damme costs a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and they did some location shooting and stuff.
Wow, I didn't think
Yeah.
they spent anything on that.
Yeah.
I actually really loved that film as a kid.
I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing
Yeah.
all the way through. And that was Games That Became Movies quiz.
Well, I think, does anybody else have anything they want to add about
Yeah,
Tron other than they love it?
Oh, I just can't wait for... I think the world of Tron coming to our world is a great idea. It
Yeah.
seems like something they've been leading up to all along.
It seems like
And so
something
by
they
Tron
should
Ares-
have done.
Yeah. So by
already.
doing it in Tron Ares, I'm very excited to see how that plays out. I think it's a great concept. So,
I hope that they kind of set up this thing. They touch on it briefly in Tron Legacy, and hopefully this doesn't ruin things for your experience, but about what the possibilities of this technology could be, where it could go in terms of helping mankind. And, we're seeing that a little bit of that in the real world, that development of like these micro bots and things like that eventually some people think might be able to be inserted and that can go, kill some disease in somebody or, help some, whatever those things are. I hope that they sort of somehow bring that storyline into Tron Ares. I hope, again, that Tron Ares is not just, it's a cool action movie and they have these great visuals. I hope that they actually ground it in a story that matters. That's what I'm really hoping for.
I remember seeing Tron Legacy in the theater and hating it. As I'm watching it, I remember thinking, that's terrible. This is dumb. That's bad. This is poor writing. This is awful. No, great. We got Jared Leto. This is going to make it so much better. No, I remember really disliking everything with the exception of I appreciated the production design that was in it. And
Visually, it's a stunning film.
visually,
Yeah.
I appreciated it. Yes.
And audioly, it's
We talked about this once before when we were talking about movies and Comic-Con experiences. My experience at Comic-Con for that film was far better than my experience with the film.
Well, I mean, but that happens a lot, I think, too, in terms of trailers, right? How many times have you seen a trailer, super excited, and like, oh my god, and then you see the movie and you're like, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, I think, but I mean, I guess that's also the job.
Well, yeah, I just, as I've said, don't remember Tron Legacy that much. So I'm excited to see it again, not only because it, what did I miss? But Joseph Kosinski's become a much more favored director, in my opinion, since Oblivion, Top Gun Maverick, and F1. I mean, those are great films, increasing, in quality from the first one to the second two. And F1 and Maverick are outstanding. So
you're hoping to
this,
appreciate his...
Yeah, I want to see what he's coughing up now that might have got past me previously.
Right.
He had some good plan, and no doubt it will look brilliant. And I do want to hear the score.
Did he do Legacy? He did Legacy and Ares?
No, I don't know who did Ares.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One thing that was fun, and I'll just sort of end with this, is in the documentary they did talk about they were trying to figure out a Tron 2. So I like that even back then they were like, how can we keep this going? So
that's interesting. You know what might be a fun offshoot podcast, and I don't know if I'm interested enough in this idea or if it's a fun enough idea to do. There are several sequels out there.
By the way,
to
this
movies.
was a terrible pitch so far.
Thank you. There are several sequels out there that were never made. You can find the scripts online.
Ooh.
Or
oh my God, I would love to do that.
Or you just do the first version or whatever. There is the Frank Darabont version, the first pass that was turned in for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Right?
I've never read it. Have you read it?
That was Darabont's, right?
Did you read it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have.
Is it good?
Marginally.
It only marginally.
Well, because some of the problems that I don't think I read the first one. I think I got to number 6. And by number 6, it was still Crystal Skull and they still had the refrigerator in there. So I didn't read the rest of it. I was like, okay, so we're still doing this. But
that's not my least favorite thing in there.
I know. There's a lot. But that was one of them. So it's like, is this still okay, I'm out. Galaxy Quest 2 is out there.
Oh, interesting.
I forget who the writer is. I worked with him on a project. He wrote a musical that I recorded with.
Oh.
But there's a lot of fun stuff. I wonder if there's a Forrest Gump 2 that's out there.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be interested to...
Might be interesting to tackle some of those.
Yeah.
But would anyone want to listen to a podcast about
I think
someone reading?
I mean, I think
movies?
Clearly we have to start the podcast by doing a staged reading of the screenplay. That's episode 1. Okay. Paul's not interested in this at all.
Well, they've done stage readings of scripts. Jason Reitman had a series going on downtown at the Ace Hotel. But I don't know if they were doing necessarily ones that were never produced. I think it'd be a fun idea.
Here's the
watch
thing.
that with celebrities.
But if it was done with celebrities, maybe. But other than that, it's just there's a reason why they didn't produce it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why.
So it couldn't be great.
Well, but that's not always true. I mean, there are
It's not always true. There was a reason why they didn't make it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes no. I mean, sometimes things get shelved. Well, I mean, I'm sure there was a reason they didn't make it, but yes, that's true. But I'm just saying that it wasn't always not made because it was bad. I mean, a lot of times things get shelved or put in turnaround or whatever. Somebody buys the rights because they just don't, they don't want it to be a competing property against something they already conceptualized and already have a bunch of money into. I mean, all these things happen, behind closed doors.
I once went to a showing of Forrest Gump with holy crap,
George
Andy McDowell.
Director, Back to the Future,
Robert
Zemeckis. I went to a screening of Forrest Gump and a Q&A with him afterwards, and somebody had said, there's a Forrest Gump 2 script. Are you going to make another Forrest Gump? And he said, no. He said, they never will. And they said, but it was in the trades that the writer sold it. And he said, they have to buy it. The studio has to buy it. If he writes it, he has to buy it. Because if not, someone else is going to buy it, and they're going to hold on to it. And then they're going to destroy this movie called Forrest Gump, which they just made a shitload of money on. And on top of that, won on them all of these awards.
Right.
So, yeah, Universal has to buy it. Oh, okay.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. Well, there's more Tron to be had. Tron Legacy will be our next episode in this Countdown movie show series. My name is Paul Preston of The Movie Guys.
Sean Blodgett of Creative Motion Entertainment.
And Justin T. Bowler of The World.
And where can we find us? Besides right here.
TheCountdownMovieShow.com. That'll take you to our YouTube page.
Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right. Well, hey, programs, thanks for hanging out. C:// end of line.
C:/ you later.
He said end of line.